Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Today is a two-part video, so I'm asking that you stay through to the second part. I know some of you it's really difficult to watch the whole video, but just stay with me. It's something cool I want to show you. You'll enjoy it, so just stick with the video, okay? I'll try to make the first part as short as possible. Many of you know that this past month, earlier this month actually, the G20 met, right? The big G20 summit. I mean, it's all part of the globalist elite, you know, New World Order junk. This one, it usually includes Russia and China. That's what G20 includes, but they were not participating in this because, of course, we are seeing the divide in the world. It was predominantly run by India and the United States, and here is a document that I will leave a link for the PDF in the description below. But this is the G20 New Delhi Leadership's Declaration, September 9th and 10th of this year. Of course, we're not going to go through the whole thing. It's like 37, 38 pages. But if you've had any thought or inkling that maybe we've jumped the gun on the New World Order and the Great Reset stuff, because you know, officially, it's been a little quiet on the home front on what's going on. I assure you it's not, because this document, it's so nice and colorful too. See that? Oh, it's beautiful. All them pretty colors. It looks so cheerful. But this document just solidifies even more the stuff that we're talking about and has been going on. In fact, you can even go to the very top, the little header. See the little header up here? It says, "One Earth, one family, one future." Oh, that sounds so good. The very first thing, the preamble, you know the preamble of the Constitution. Most people can kind of get it, you know, the we the people and all that kind of stuff. We are one Earth, one family, and we share one future. We, the leaders of the G20, met in New Delhi on September 9th and 10th, 2023, under the theme of, man, it's an Indian word, I can't even pronounce it, Vahasvia Kakmukbam. We met at a defining moment in history where the decisions we now make will determine the future of our people and our planet. It is with the philosophy of living in harmony and surrounding ecosystems, and we commit to concrete actions to address global changes. If you go through this thing, and I encourage all of you to go to this website and look at it. You don't have to read the whole thing, but if you just read the highlights of it, get out of my face, bug. For planet, people, peace, and prosperity. You know, we note with deep concern the immense human suffering and adverse impact of wars and conflicts around the world. And we're going to spend all of your money and take away all your rights to take care of it. You know, it in almost all of the, what is it, the 17 points of the Agenda 2030 plan, it's all wrapped up in here. It may not say this is a point in the Agenda 2030 plan, but it definitely talks about it. It talks about cryptocurrency and digital currency, how there needs to be more control over cryptocurrency, and how we as G20, all the big players, need to open the doorways and make things work better for digital currencies. It talks about global economic crisis. Of course, they paint it in a beautiful picture that makes it sound wonderful. They recognize the critical role in private enterprise in accelerating growth and driving sustainable economic transformation. To this end, we resolve to work with private sectors to create inclusive, sustainable, resilient global value chains, facilitate investments in foreign direct investments, devise pipelines of investable projects in developing countries and all this, unlocking trade for growth, preparing for future work. It's talking a lot about people getting ready for a digital tomorrow, is basically what that boils down to. Fighting corruption. You know, of course, we gotta end the free speech stuff, because that's corrupt. accelerating progress in sustainable development goals. That's those ESG stuff, the sustainable development goals. That's ESG. Let me say that again. We recognize the role of digital transformation, AI, data advances, and the need to address digital divides. We endorse the G20 principles on harnessing data and development, and welcome the decision to launch a Data for Development Capacity Building Initiative with other existing initiatives. We affirm our commitment towards the mobilization of affordable, adequate, and accessible financing from all sources. Eliminating hunger and malnutrition. You know, we've got to emphasize the importance of increasing access to available and efficient use of fertilizer and agricultural imports. You know, eat the bugs, folks. Eat the bugs. It's all in here. Macroeconomic impact, strengthening global health, and implementing One Health approach. That's a good one. We recognize the commitment to strengthen the global health architecture with the World Health Organization at its core. At its core, the World Health Organization is going to control your health, folks. And building a more resilient, equitable, love that word, don't you? Sustainable and inclusive health care system to achieve universal health coverage. Implement One Health approach, enhance pandemic preparedness, and strengthen existing infectious disease surveillance systems. Man, this sounds so exciting. I am so privileged to be living in this time. Finance, health collaboration, it just goes on. Delivering quality education. I'm sure this is beautiful. We are committed to inclusive, equitable, not equal, equitable, high-quality education and skills training for all, including those in vulnerable situations. We recognize the importance of investing in supporting human capital development. You know, it talks about AI in here, reaffirming the commitment to open and equitable scientific collaboration, all this kind of stuff. Transformative drivers, Green Development Pact for a Sustainable Future. I'm sure that is just going to keep you up at night reading it. I mean, I'm only on page 12, folks. It goes on, and the point that I'm getting at, because I'm not going to sit here and give you all this, I want you to go and read it yourself. Take some time. Like I said, it's like 37, 38 pages. I want you to go through and read it. The point to this video is that this stuff that we've been talking about, that so many people, I'm sure even YouTube's probably going to put a little warning down here about how the New World Order is fake. The New World Order is a conspiracy theory. And every time we talk about it, that's what we get told. But yet they keep putting this kind of dribble out. Of course, delivering on climate and sustainable finances. There's a lot in here on central bank digital currencies. Not directly calling that, but there's a lot about digital money of tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. The Paris Agreement is in here. Conserving, protecting, sustainable, using, restoring ecosystems. It goes on and on and on. It talks about smart cities, financing cities of tomorrow, resilient infrastructure, multilateral institutions for the 21st century. It goes on and on and on, folks. We have to be preparing for this. This is really their end goal. This right here, it's really, I mean, they can call it this new declaration or whatever. In the end, it's more of the beast system that's being developed. Central bank digital currency gets its own little heading there. We welcome discussions of the potential macro financial implications arising, and blah blah blah, fostering digital ecosystems and crypto assets regulations. Oh, we got to regulate international taxation, harnessing artificial intelligence, responsibility for good and for all. Gender equality and empowering all women and girls. Yeah, this is good stuff, folks. I mean, and this is what all these nations agreed to. If you're not taking things seriously, if you're not getting your preps in order, if you're not getting your body in order, if you're not getting your mind in order, and especially if you're not getting your soul, your heart and soul in order, you're being foolish. You're behaving erratically. You need to be prepping up, because this kind of stuff, it's real. They put it right out there for us, and they keep reaffirming it, to use one of their words, ever so often, and updating it and making it just flat out worse. All right, on to the fun stuff. So I don't do hardly any product reviews. Don't click off of this, just hold on. I just don't. I get people offer me products all the time. I mean, those solar battery things, you know, they call them a generator, they're not. Every major company has offered to send them to me. Flashlights, all kinds of stuff. I turn every bit of it down. I don't keep it for myself. I don't even accept it. I tell them no. Because, you know, it's biased reviews for one thing. You're getting the product free, and I figure everyone else is doing that, and I don't want to be like everybody else. So I typically don't. But I do like to promote small businesses, and so most everything that I promote on here, with the exception of a couple, are small businesses. And I also like to promote young people and wholesome things and stuff. And so as much as we talk about the younger generations, how they're just ruining this country, which is not really true. It's our generation, or our parents' generation, that really ruined it. They're just, the children, the young people are just doing what we showed them how to do, just worse. I want to show you a company here, a business, not a company, a business. This young guy, and he's not a boy, he's a man, he's 19. He sent me an email, said, I watch your channel, and I'm doing this knife business, and I wanted to know if I could send you one and if you could talk about it. And I said, you know what, I normally don't do this stuff, but because you're young, he told me more about it himself. I said, you know what, anything I can do to promote young people. This boy, again, he's a man. Please don't be offended. He's 19. I mean, my two oldest boys are older than him. So anyways, before I get myself in more trouble, I'll move on. This is the name of his business. I'll leave a link below. He makes knives. He started making knives when he was like 14, 15, something like that, in his garage. And so now he's trying to do a full-blown, real, legitimate business making knives, and he sent me one, and I'm telling you, I am so impressed with what he sent me. This is the knife. We'll get to that just in a second. They are, you know, high-quality stuff. You get this little pamphlet, tells you all about it. He even threw in some stickers. The overall knife is almost 7.4 inches. Blade materials 154 cm. A steel hardness of 58 to 60. Has the Kydex holster, has G10 grips, comes with a certificate of authenticity for the heat treatment. So there's all the goodies stuff. Let's get into this. I will have to tell you, number one, I'm a big knife person. I'm not a big knife person. I don't like big knives. I have a couple big ones that, you know, they're more of like a machete kind of thing, but most of I like them smaller so that I can have better control. And so I like that for this. It's got this cool Kydex holster that you can wear it all different ways. It has a little belt clip. You can wear it, you know, smaller back, upright, inside waistband, outside waistband. This thing, the belt loop comes off, and so you can place it wherever you want. But man, the knife, it fits in there good and snug and everything. This may be one of the most robust little knives, little EDC fixed blade knives I have ever seen in my life. I don't know if you can get a good understanding of how thick this blade is. If you're wanting a little feather, lightweight kind of knife, this is not it. This thing is beefy, but it's in a small package. 3-inch blade, nice little curve to it. Let me show you here. I brought tape measure. We're talking about a 1/4 inch of steel on this, okay? And I don't know how well you can see even to that point. It's pretty thick, folks. These G10 grips, they're not super smooth, and I like that. They're, you know, like a fine sandpaper, so it gives a good grip to it. Very, very sharp blade. It's got this little pommel on the end of it. I mean, that's going to do some damage. It's a little small for general bushcrafting things, but I think that it's definitely tough enough. You know, a lot of times you do want a bigger knife for certain bushcrafting things, but I thought we might give this little guy a try on some stuff, maybe like batoning. This is oak, red oak, so this is a little tougher. Now, like I said, because it's shortness, it kind of keeps you from doing it on bigger wood, but I don't think because of the thickness you have to worry about damaging the blade any. It has such a good feel to it. Again, this is oak, folks. This is red oak. This is not some pine or birch or some other kind of very soft wood. This is very hard, not fully seasoned red oak, and it's taken it. It is very sharp. It takes the hair right off of my hand after doing all that, if you can see. The point, like I showed you, the point is so thick, I don't think you have to worry too much about damaging it. Yeah, it's not going to damage, I would say. You would have to really, really abuse this thing to damage it. It's so thick. Also, if you notice, it's got this nice little hilt here that your finger fits in, so if you're doing stuff, plus it's got a good aggressive back edge on it, it's going to be hard for your hand to slip up. Doing it both ways. Also using the end of it to strike with. I mean, is it a fighting knife? Is it a bushcraft knife? Is it just an all-purpose EDC knife? I think it's probably all of that. Even with that style of blade, with it forward curving, you could definitely do some damage if you wanted to. I mean, using a knife for self-defense should be a last-ditch effort, but you definitely don't have to worry about breaking the blade. And if nothing else, it's heavy enough and it's got that nice little end piece on it that you can do some damage there. Like I said, as far as bushcrafting, things like that, it's 1/4-inch steel, folks. It's heavy duty. It's beautiful. I think it retails for $126. I'll leave a link in the description below. Like I said, these are handcrafted. These aren't, you know, your Chinese knives or Japanese knives or anything. These are American made by a young man in this country. It's not at all lost. I mean, things are bad in this country, and especially with this younger generation, but there are still some amazing young men and women, some young boys and some young girls that are standing up for the right things. We have them in our own group, so when I see stuff like this, I want to support young men and women. You know, there's holidays coming up that maybe some of you do, birthdays, things like that. I guarantee you any man, any boy, and probably most all you women would love this. You can get the grips in different colors. I like the bright orange because if I'm using it in bushcraft, you can see all this around you. If you get a brown handle or something, you drop the knife, there's times it's hard to find. So I like to have something, the bright orange or bright color. A lot of times I'll tie a hunter orange paracord at the end of it. In case I drop it, I can see it. But with this, it's going to be easy to find if I drop it. Something to think about, shedknives.com, folks. It's a good thing to support folks within our own group. Keep our money in our group as much as you can, within our community as much as you can. And right there, I'm telling you, that's a pretty doggone good knife. Maybe one of the most robust little EDCs like that I've ever seen. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order. You know the things you need to be doing. You need to be preparing mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.